What would your dream profile of that beer be? Like blood orange, nutmeg, coconut, vanilla, avocado, lactose, and toasted pistachio.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Craft Beer Republic. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. I am Greg. Today, of course, I'm being joined by one of the largest men I know, Flexi. What's going on, buddy?
Not that much, man. It's feeling a little Indiana-y up in here. You know what I mean?
Oh, kind of like shitty Gary, Indiana?
Yeah, you feeling it too?
I am. Yeah, it smells like Gary. Speaking of which, we're being joined. This is so not fair to him. We're being joined by the only cool person in all of Indiana, and that, of course, is Zack Miller, OG Beer Dude on the gram.
Yeah, he knows we love him, you know.
Oh, I do 100%. It definitely smells like Indiana, even from where I'm standing.
Well, especially from where you're standing. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
A lot of Indiana funk going on over there. Yeah. You're the bar of Irish Spring in the pile of crap.
Hey,
I
look
try
at
my
that!
best.
Look at that analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a bar of soap and a paring knife, and I'm in.
You know what's funny? I didn't know Irish Spring was still around, and I saw a commercial for them recently. I was like, "What?
Didn't they
fuck?
do during the Super Bowl? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was
so
super
surprised.
awkward.
It was and fantastic at the same time.
Yeah,
But it was awkward in the sense of like, wow, I didn't know they were still here.
yeah. The 90s are alive and well.
It's the same people who wear Axe.
Nice bod. Do you guys remember the bod body spray?
Yes,
Oh,
I
the
do
bod
remember
sprays.
that. Absolutely.
I remember in junior high, like my former stepmom, I don't know what you call that bitch, bought me, she's a horrible person, bought me, like, put in my stocking, like the bod spray. And I was like, what is this? And I smelt it once, was like, this is like hot garbage. Like,
One of my good buddies during junior high would always take it from his brother. He would steal his brother's bod spray, and then we would just spray it on each other like we thought we were cool.
right, yeah. Let me tell you, the quickest way not to find a girlfriend in junior high is to cover yourself in bod spray.
I mean, you guys remember the
Real
commercials,
bad.
though, right? It was just like these
Oh,
jack
yeah.
guys, bod spray.
Yeah.
I want
And
your bod.
Yeah. Yes, all the girls. I want your bod. Nice
Oh.
bod.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was a bunch of flexes with
So
a bunch
good.
of hot chicks. Nice bod.
We should bring those
I want
commercials
your
back
bod.
now.
We should recreate our own commercial.
I mean, we could do that in California.
I
it's
want
fun.
your craft beer republic.
Yeah. I like your beer. Nice beer.
I want your stouts.
Give me your adjuncts.
What is that stout?
Nice.
12%? Give it to me.
Nice adjuncts. Oh gosh. Sorry everybody. Let's talk about the adjunct.
Are
in
you
a
still
second.
here, everybody?
Yeah. Chirp, 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 chirp. Thanks for listening. All right, let's start some wow, Jesus, words already. It's only gonna get worse. This is a high ABV beer. Let's start this.
I think that's all of us right
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like Jesus is dancing over there. In honor of Zach joining us today, I found in my fridge, and thanks to Tavor for the slide on this one, Taxman Brewing Company, and I'm drinking their No Sparge Imperial Golden. It is an English killing 12%.
Ayo.
Has 32 IBUs, a nice respectable 397 on Untappd, and an 89 on Beer Advocate. They say, no sparging, sprinkling, diluting, or extra water here. We loaded our mash tun to the brim with 1.5 tons of delicious Belgian malt. Mashed it once and took only the first and best runnings. Sure, it might be downright inefficient, but it also creates a uniquely smooth, rich, and robust malty body to complement the intense, tropical flavors of our farmhouse yeast. Procure this ale while you can before our accountants find out what we did. Yeah, nothing like No Sparge to give you a 12% fucking beer over here.
Oh, nothing like filling it up to the brim.
I'll tell you, on the schnoz, you get that typical kind of Belgian-y, clovey, banana, yeasty smell. I was a little afraid. That's usually not my jam. The taste, though, is very pleasant and very hiding of that 12%. You do get a little bit of banana, but very little. It's something because banana, like the hef thing, I don't do.
Oh,
but,
and see, and that's something I love on those Belgians and those Hefes.
Yep.
This is for me because you don't get tons of it. You get a little bit. I'm sure my wife would hate it because she's so sensitive. But this is nice and dangerous and does not drink like 12%. So cheers to Taxman Brewing out there in Indiana and to Tavor for getting the slide over. Bargersville, Indiana. Did I say that right?
Bargersville, yeah.
Sweet. I like these guys. I've had a couple of Taxman thanks to Tavor, and usually they're pretty on point.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things. They're a fantastic brewery. Their ratings are not very high, but they make fantastic beer. They only do Belgian style beers, and yeah, they're fantastic.
I love that whole rating thing. It's like, well, I don't like this style of beer, so 2 stars.
Yeah, that's very unfair on the Untappd apps and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed with like Pilsners and Lagers. They get shit reviews, and even it's some of the best of the best, and it's like, it's a 2.
Yeah, I know. Somebody gave me shit one time. I gave a beer. It was a Helles, I think like 4.5 stars or something on Untappd, and I just said like it's the perfect example of what this beer should be. If you're looking for a Helles, this is basically a fucking Helles, and so for a Helles, it's a 4.5 star beer. No, it's not your bullshit barrel aged adjunct motherfucker or anything like that. But if you're looking for a Helles, this is a 4.5 star Helles. Like you should drink it. Be like, oh, why would you give a lager 4? Because it's delicious.
Well, and you know what? I unfortunately used to be one of those people, and I give credit to my sister-in-law's husband, Mike, who I saw one of his Untappd ratings, and he rated this Oktoberfest a 5. And I was like, whoa, like, you liked it that much? And he goes, well, out of Oktoberfests, it's my favorite Oktoberfest I've ever had. So, yes, I'm going to rate it a 5 out of 5. I said, you know what? That makes a hell of a lot of sense. And that's how I started rating beers. And after that is not based on, not discriminating by style,
personal preferences.
Yeah, but rating, for the style itself. So,
yeah, like Enegren Brewing out here, German brewery. They have the lightest one. That's what it's called. It's a Helles. It is easily one of the best Helleses you'll find from a craft brewery in the U.S. And it has I'm looking it up now, 3.7 overall. I'm like, that is just a fucking shame. It's easily in the 4s, but people are. It's not hazy, bro.
It's not hazy. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a fruited sour.
Exactly. So, anyways, I will digress. I want to mention, because I have a feeling it's going to get brought up like 10 times throughout this episode, that the other day we were joking around and talking about beers and adjuncts, the three of us were. And Zach says, like, they should make a beer called Adjunct Motherfucker. And I very quickly whipped up a can with Zach's image and Adjunct Motherfucker. And I said, sour IPA with fucking everything. And you're going to hear us say Adjunct Motherfucker at least 3 or 4 more times.
It's going to happen.
I figured I had to give people a little context.
The best part about it was how amazed Zach was by how quickly you made the can and sent it in. That was the best part.
Working hard that day.
I was flabbergasted, and then I was absolutely floored. And I was like a kid at Christmas when I received that. I remember it was just like, hey, like, can I post this? And I posted it, and like, I don't have a lot of followers, right? But when I put it, it is still to this day my number 1 liked and commented post that I've ever put out.
It's awesome.
Ever. People went ape shit for it.
As they should have.
Yeah.
Like, people were commenting me, it's like friends from breweries that are head brewers are just like, if you don't find anybody to make this, like, we'll make this. I'm just like, what? What is going on here? Yeah.
This needs
100%.
to happen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We need to do it. That'd be so awesome.
Just throw in like
motherfucker.
Some Snickers bars, put in some raspberry puree, maybe add some coffee to it, some
just a bunch of shit that shouldn't go
toasted marshmallow, like just adjunct motherfucker. Boom.
I'll tell you exactly. So I had a very good friend of mine, Slater. He texted me and he was just like, so what would the build be on this? And so what I responded back with was, I said, this is literally what I was, he's like, what would your dream profile of that beer be? Like the build. like, blood orange, nutmeg, coconut, vanilla, avocado, lactose, and toasted pistachio. That's literally what I hit it with.
There's someone listening going, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you know what?
Somebody's going to make that.
I actually thought to myself, without the avocado, that doesn't sound like a half bad adjunct beer.
Some hipster has already lined up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody just came in their pants.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you throw avocado in there, the hipsters are like, they're coming from all over the country to line up for that one.
They got the good fats. They got the really good fats.
We're putting salmon in it, so the omega-3s. It's fine.
Yeah, you forgot about, you got to put the antioxidants in there too.
Yeah,
you got to be like the Vizzy seltzer, and promote wellness.
Yeah. I was going to say, we just need to do like a little bacon rimmer on the glass too.
We're meeting on Wednesday with a brewery, which I'm not going to mention who it is until we get it locked down. But so it's a fruited sour, of course, because it's me. But we're hitting it with tamarind and tahine. So it's going to be a tamarind quadruple fruited goza with tahine.
Called Adjunct, motherfucker.
We should call it that.
I'm beer for that one. That one sounds delicious.
Somebody's going to have to like nut up and be willing to put motherfucker on their can. That'd be so great.
Well, if you put like some asterisks on there, right? That, like the fuck COVID or fuck cancer beers.
Fuck cancer, yeah.
The fuck cancer beer, and then didn't and I should know this because we sell it, but Abomination made a beer. I think it was called Fuck 2021 and Fuck 2020.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the fuck cancer. I actually have one of the cans right here as my backup beer, which I don't think I need a backup beer because this thing's 12%. But so they only did the F asterisk cancer. It's not like asterisk K or anything like that.
Oh, see, Wisconsin, I can't remember who it was that did the fuck COVID beer. But I don't think they did use the FUCK. I think it was like the F asterisk CK. Ale Asylum, I think that's who did it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. I know, like, in California, there's a lot of weird laws. Like, you can't put certain shit on a alcohol label. You can't, like, in California, you can't reference getting drunk on an alcohol label.
Really?
Yeah.
And you guys shit on Indiana.
Right? Yeah. Our alcohol laws, in some ways, they're so lax, and in other ways, they're so weird. Like, last week, we had Nick Berlin on from 14 Cannons, the head brewer. And he was talking about how like California is one of the only states where you can self-distribute. And so like in that ways, California's great. But then in other ways, you want to put something funny on the can that says like, have one of these and you'll get wasted or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, clever shit on cans is awesome. That's what everybody enjoys that.
Well, that's part of your algorithm.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's part of the can art. Everybody knows that.
Exactly. So please, someone hit up Zach, OG Beer Dude on the gram, underscores in beneath. Wow. Underscores in between.
Words, dude.
12%, man. And let's get this beer made. We need an adjunct motherfucker sour IPA with everything in it.
We do.
All right. Wanted to mention, especially to Flex, I did some beer research over the weekend. Not only did I go to Naughty Pine twice, 2 days in a row. Yes. I also, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Poseidon is that brewery that I love that I forget about.
You always forget about.
I made a point and I went out to Poseidon.
You're amazing.
I did some research, and good times were had by all. They had a barbecue pop-up truck with like an hour-long line. I was like, what is this, people? So just DoorDash something else instead. Hour-long line for barbecue.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and also before I forget, I do want to mention, in case somehow you didn't listen to last week's show, March 10th, it's a Thursday, it's a school night, I realize it, but come out to 14 Cannons if you're in the Southern California region. For the live podcast, I'll be dusting off the cobwebs, the first live show since the pandemic, and be with Nick. We'll be drinking our collab and talking about it and asking him some questions. We're also working on a whole flight, so we're going to have that one, maybe a couple other beers, and we're working on getting the coffee that we used in the beer by itself. So we got a little taster of the coffees. You can kind of taste them side by side. So we're working on all kinds of fun surprises. Come on out, 14 Cannons, Westlake Village, Thursday, March 10th. I am so stoked and really nervous. I haven't done a live show in like 2 years. Actually, like 2.5 at least. So
just make sure you got to picture everybody naked. It takes the nerves away.
I said I was nervous, not on a dry spell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Greg, why don't you stand up and introduce yourself? Sorry, I cannot. A lot of hot people in the crowd tonight. And my imagination is running wild.
You
Flex,
do
that was the worst
you.
advice. Yeah. Well, imagining doing all of them, it's just not going to work out very well. So, oh God, that's the kind of shenanigans you can. Sorry. Anyway, so come on out. What about you guys? Flex, you do any research over the weekend? I think you went to your French fry spot, right?
Naturally, I hit up Eagle Park. They released this new triple IPA I was really intrigued about, and I found out I newly discovered that they have half off burgers on Mondays. So I'm going to be there every Monday from here on out, getting, the new releases on tap, half off burgers, hanging out with some buds, and just have some awesome Mondays off.
Yeah.
So this one, it's a triple hazy IPA, Idaho 7 and Eldorado hops, 10% ABV, so it's a banger. Not as banging as your Belgian, but banging like a trip haze. And it's great. It's super dank. It's citrusy. It's hoppy, piney. It's everything you want in an IPA. Really, it just doesn't. The bitterness doesn't take your tongue off. And it's super enjoyable.
The enamel's left on your teeth.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, good. What was the name of that beer?
Oh, this beer, I'm sorry, shame on me. It's Trouble's Coming.
Oh.
So
I knew Troubles.
Yeah, but the can art, again, amazing can art, just real goofy.
Looks like an old Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yeah, eyes popping out of people's heads and whatnot, kind of like an Real Monsters vibe. And
yeah,
I mean, it just totally fits
we
the
just
algorithm.
date ourselves?
Yeah.
I believe we did.
But yeah, so I popped out there. I got this bad boy. I tried their new mixed berry slush that they had on tap, which was really good. And their, how do you pronounce that again? The Hellas? The Heelys?
Hellas?
Yes, the Hellas. They had a phenomenal Hellas lager
Nice.
that again, they just released. And they
2.5 stars?
Yeah, for sure. But they just released that in cans, in 12-ounce cans, 6-packs, and definitely going to be picking myself up a bunch of those.
Nice. It's a perfect, I know football season's over, but perfect, football beer, just all-day drinking beer, man.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get that, 4.5% Hellas. Not too thick, nice and light, pairs with just about everything, including a pool. The way to go.
Well, it was funny, too, because me and my buddy, I got a full pour of it, and my buddy got a taster of it. And as we're drinking it and we're comparing notes, and we were both like, it's bright and it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. And we literally, it was just like harmony as we said it to each other. I mean, it was just a delectable beer.
And cheap plug out to your buddy, Duke of Drinkability.
Oh, yeah, shame on me.
The best name on all of Instagram. I just love it. Mainly because it sounds like it'd be a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. Well, very nice. Zach, any research out your direction?
Yeah, so I've got Off Square out of Crown Point. It's their newest New England IPA called Party Business, 7%. So I'm on the low end of the totem pole. It is their newest hazy. Fantastic. I actually don't know the hop build on this one, but 75 IBUs, which I'm pretty sure it's like a Powerball number. They're just kind of throwing random numbers out there. But one of my very good friends, Zach, is their salesman, and I met him today for a beer, and he bought me one of these, and it's absolutely fantastic. I literally cracking this open just for tonight.
Nice.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to Zach. Great name.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is so
there can be only one.
So I'm ZM. He's also ZM, and we have another very good friend of ours that is also another ZM at another beer bar in the region.
What happened in Indiana? They run out of names?
Yeah, I mean, Gary took it away from us.
I was hoping you were going to say you have a friend named Mac Z. That would have been something.
Nah, I just go on Mac Lethal, on YouTube.
Well, to make you feel better about Indiana, let's take a trip down to Florida, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
Where apparently in Florida, it's illegal to sell wine in bottles that are more than 1 gallon, but less than 5.12 gallons.
Okay,
What?
So this as goofy as hell as this sounds, and I did not look this up.
Do not defend this.
And I should have. But all it made me think of is there an actual unit of measurement that is like 5.13 gallons?
Or maybe that's 3 liters or something like that.
You know what I mean? You know, like a buttload is what, like 126 gallons?
Yeah,
something
that's an
like
official buttload.
That is an official buttload. So that's what's made me think of that with the wine.
Right. I'm looking it up. No, nothing goes over like nicely.
So a buttload is technically 126 gallons.
Yep.
Is what it's.
Yeah. Nailed it.
For reals? It says that.
Yeah, I'm dead.
I told you 126.
Yeah, 120 heat, and he nailed it, man. 126.
I nailed the buttload.
Yeah, I can't find what a 5.12 would convert to evenly. Somebody who's smarter at math than my Googling skills, please.
This is the wrong podcast for that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Anybody got another 12%er I could drink? Jesus.
I mean, I'm in Indiana. I can't do that.
As I almost knock it over. Yeah, so what I'm learning is that Florida either wants you to not drink very much or drink a shit ton.
Well, that explains all their headlines, then, though.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you can't have this 1 gallon of wine, but you can sure have over 5.
And
have
then
this 5.5
wrestle an
gallon
alligator, steal a car, and then hit your ex-wife. You know, like
all while high on bath salts.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Every Florida man says.
Right. Zach, have you been to Florida?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in Florida, actually.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time in Plant City, Florida, like 30 minutes, give or take, outside of Tampa. Love that place. And then Tampa, I absolutely adore. Tampa Bay Beer Week. And then I spend a decent amount of time in Miami. And sorry for anybody who's listening, Miami's a shithole.
It is. It's like one nice strip.
Yeah, you can keep Miami.
Yeah.
But Tripping
Beaches
Animals,
are
Jay
nice.
Wakefield. And the breweries are nice, actually.
Yeah.
But you got to kind of get off the beaten path. But Florida
Sorry,
is,
Vanessa.
But also, hi, Vanessa.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. And then, like, there's some very highly rated, but then also underrated breweries in Florida. It's a fantastic beer place.
Yeah, I haven't been to Florida in a long. Is pre craft beer days. I've been to Orlando a few times, and I have not been to Flex's Dick Hotel, but I've been to Orlando a few times, and I went to Miami once.
big.
And Miami, like, yeah, the stretch along the beach there was like super nice, and then everything else was real dicey. And to make things worse, we were there right after the whole Trayvon Martin situation, so it was like extra dicey. It was not a comforting feeling. But Orlando is where I ran into like all the Florida mans.
Oh, you actually ran into them?
Oh, I think they all were like hanging out in Florida for the week.
Were you on a headline with them?
I should have been. So this was years and years ago with an ex. I was at Disney World and I had a gift card and I go to check out. We're ordering food and I go to pay with the gift card, Disney gift card. And she goes, I need to see your ID with this. And I was like, yeah, it's a gift card. She's like, yeah, I need to see your ID. I said, yeah, it's a gift card. We did this a few times. I said, there's no name on there. It's just a gift card. She goes, but I still need to see your ID. I said, well, why? And she wouldn't say other than like, I need to see your ID. She kept repeating, I need to see your ID. I mean, this went on for a couple minutes, partially because I'm an asshole and I was probably a little buzzed. But finally, I was like, fine. So I got my ID out and I said, does the name match? And she said, thank you, sir. I said, no. I said, does it match? She's like, thank you, sir. I was like, clearly you wanted to see my name. I said, does it match what's on the gift card? Thank you, sir. She wouldn't answer me. Like, what the fuck? It was like the dumbest exchange I'd ever have. Let me see your ID. There's no name on there. I still need to see your ID. For what?
That's correct. Maybe she was new. Who knows?
Maybe. And I'm not nice.
You're a great person. Best of the best.
Yeah. But, Disney World's what it is.
It's magical.
All right. Well, yeah, magical.
Is it, though?
Oh,
is it
yeah.
really?
I love it.
To be fair, I've been a couple times. It was
No,
fun.
don't say that.
It was fun. You get to drink around the world at Epcot. I mean, come on.
It's great.
I'll withdraw this statement because I'm pretty sure if anybody hears this, that I'm going to shit on. Disney is amazing. I love everything about it. Oh, it's so great.
Zach's going to be found in his bed and all you're going to hear is somebody walking away like, ha, ha, ha.
There's going to be blood on those giant white gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Come on, Pluto. Excuse me. That's not easy on the throat.
No, it's not.
It's really
quite.
not.
It's a range.
It's quite taxing.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like much more taxing than like doing this. Bill Ford tough, and then you're like, huh? It's like, choking over here.
Yeah,
that's very taxing.
Yeah, that's taxing.
I don't know why you said Bill Ford tough, and my brain all went like a rock.
Oh,
come on, that's Chevy.
Yeah,
How
now
dare
you're
you?
switching.
Yeah, I'm switching gears.
I like it.
Switching gears, indeed. All right, so 12%, everybody. Boston Beer has announced what the executives will be getting paid in 2022. They got a nice little 3% bump. No bonuses because of the pandemic, but CEO Dave Berwick will be racking in $835,459 this year. Not too shabby.
Yeah, good for him, I guess. Right?
Yeah. We should have talked about this last week. Ask Nick if that's what he's making at his brewery. 14 can. Hey, you making over $750,000? Is that what beer does for you? So I guess it's not what beer does for you. That's what seltzers do for you.
Yeah, that's what seltzers. Yeah. Blech.
Oh God.
Blech.
Yeah. Hawaii, aloha, everybody, is looking to pass a new law that's going to lower the BAC driving limit to 0.05, down from 0.08, of course.
Good for them, I would say.
I guess.
Just
I
trying
agree
to
with that actually.
trying to keep things safe.
Kind of means that, if you had 2 beers, driving wouldn't be such a smart idea.
Yeah, correct. And it's just kind of enforcing like, hey, get a ride.
Yeah. So Utah did this a few years ago. I believe it was 2017. And I found a couple of different articles that talked to the pluses and minuses of it. And it turns out that since they've instituted that law, which I believe is 2017 was when it took place, which probably means 2018 was like the full year they had it in Utah. They had the first year, deaths dipped way down, drunk driving deaths dipped way down. And then ever since then, they skyrocketed. But because that dip down was so low, it's lowered the average. People go, hey, look, on average, since we've passed this law, we've had less deaths. But if you knock out that one outlier year, the year since, they've actually had more drunk driving deaths since passing that law.
I feel like...
I hope that made sense.
I feel like that's kind of like a gray area, though, because... so now you technically have more drunk driving deaths, but you did lower the legal limit. So that's, so the legal limit in Wisconsin and most places is what, 0.08?
0.08.
Right. So you lower it to 0.05 and, it only makes sense that you're going to increase those numbers.
Oh, because you're saying someone killed someone at 06.
Correct.
And now it's a drunk. I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
What one of the articles was saying was that before they passed the law, that range between 05 and 08 only accounted for 2 deaths a year in Utah.
I don't know if I buy that, but
I mean, assuming this person is not just making up numbers.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They said the lion's share of the deaths came at 0.08 and above, not in that 05 to 08 range.
So basically, people just started drinking way more.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, not funny because we're talking deaths here, but during the pandemic, even though there was less people on the roads, the drunken deaths increased.
That's shocking.
Yeah. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's the right move or not. It's really hard because if you have 2 beers, I think we're all, the 3 of us at least, are pretty good to drive off of 2 beers.
Oh, yeah.
Flex after his 3 today was sending some weird videos, but while driving. But overall, I think you have 2 not 12% beers were pretty okay to drive. But if you pass it to its that 0.05, that might not be the case anymore. So
yeah, but I've been in that same boat. I mean, and not to make light of the situation, but I've always been in the same boat of it. There's got to be some way to do it on a personal level. There's got to be a way to do it on tolerance, which I know is almost impossible to do. But I know if I go to a bar and I have 4 or 5 beers and I drive home, I'm going to blow over a 0.08.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be completely fine. And I know
you're Andre the Giant over there.
Well, and I know that sounds terrible. I mean, that sounds absolutely terrible, but it's got to be on a personal level.
I joke about Andre, but I mean, you're legitimately the size of most NBA players. So you're able to drink a little bit more and drive and be okay.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be... I wish there was a way to do it on a reasonable level. It needs to be on a personal level. It has to be. But how do you do that? How do you make it on a personal level to where it's this guy's tolerance is way higher, this is lower? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, like a height and weight ratio. But then you get into like flex. if someone was the same height and weight as Flex, but not buff, but, super fat or whatever, would their tolerance be different? And
I think it's going to be on situation too. I feel like if I go to a bar and I have 3 beers that are 12%, like you're drinking, and I drive home, that's going to be...
You're going to end up at your neighbor's house.
Yeah. I mean, as a beer drinker that drinks beer pretty much all day, every day, it hits me way different than whiskey or wine or tequila. It's a very different buzz.
It really
is. Everyone calls bullshit on that, but no, it's completely different. It's completely different.
Well, I can drink, 12%, I'm blanking. Sake. Woo! I can drink sake until the cows come home.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't make me drunk.
For sure.
But other people sit there and get hammered. And, it was so funny. I was hanging out with my buddy one time and he's like, hey, you want to do some sake? And I was like, sure. He goes, I got all kinds of bottles. So, it was a party and he's bringing it out and they had this weird shot game where you're like spinning the little thing and you take shots. And I was just doing shot for shot with everybody and then some. And by the end of the game, I was like, so what else we drinking? Everyone else is like, one dude was passed out. Another dude had taken a nap. I'm like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, this is like drinking water.
Yeah, chug sake.
Yeah, sake doesn't do anything to me.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
Fuck yeah. Speaking of Florida, going back to Florida, first of all, I want to preface this. This man is a horrible person. I'm glad that everything that happened to him did happen to him. But a wanted Florida man was caught after passing out drunk in a McDonald's drive-thru. Needed that Big Mac. A wanted Florida man was caught Friday after he passed out drunk in the drive-thru line at McDonald's and caused a backup of cars. Luis Salinas, 35, had a warrant out for his arrest in connection to the sexual battery of a child. I hope he rots in hell. Deputies said that it was quite a pleasant surprise when they discovered it was Salinas who was conked out and blocking people from their Big Macs at the Avon Park Mickey D's. Despite other patrons yelling at Salinas, he stayed asleep until deputies opened his door and he then allegedly attacked them. Unlike his victim, our deputies can fight back, the sheriff's statement read. During the scuffle, Salinas slightly injured one deputy before he was taken into custody. Salinas, who deputies said had a blood alcohol level of 0.179, was booked into jail on the felony warrant and additional charges of battery on a law enforcement officer, DUI, driving with a suspended license, and resisting arrest. Following the arrest of Salinas, deputies had a message for those being sought by law enforcement. They said, this is great, pro tip, if you have a warrant, especially for a charge that can give you a life sentence, you probably should not drink and drive. Only in Florida.
Yeah, I'm glad they got him, That's,
that guy should rot in hell.
What an asshole.
I don't make light at all of what he did.
No,
I
not
make
at
light
all.
of him being a fucking idiot and falling asleep in the drive.
There's nothing I can say that could even be, try and be funny with that one. That was just
no,
just piece of shit.
Yeah, the good news is his fellow inmates will find out what he did and they'll act accordingly.
I guess this will be the time I'll make light of it. He's going to be spit roast in prison.
That is accurate.
And he should be.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. That reminds me, I was driving home the other day. That reminds me, I was drunk the other day. McDonald's drive-thru. No.
That's a bad segue.
No, so a week ago, I went to the car wash, and I'm pulling out of the driveway, and there's 2 lanes on this road after you pull out of the driveway, and I was going left, and the right lane goes right or straight.
The right lane goes right? That's crazy.
And the left lane goes left.
That's crazy.
We're fucked up out here in California. So we're waiting at the red light. Light turns green for the people going straight or right. And the first couple cars go, and then one car doesn't move. And the car behind him starts laying on the horn. Actually, not enough. It was a nice courtesy, like, honk, honk.
Yeah.
And then like wait 10 seconds, like, honk. I'm like, oh my God, if I was behind this asshole, I'd fall asleep on my horn. Like, what's going on here? So I'm still in the left turn lane. Our left turn hadn't gotten the green yet. And I look back and he's kind of looking like he's looking down. It looks like he's looking at his phone or something. I was like, what a fucking asshole, just looking at his phone. So this continues. And right before I get a green, somebody gets out of their car. And I was like, oh, maybe something's happening over here. So I'm looking. And as I look closer at him, homie's passed the fuck out, like middle of the street. I thought he was just looking down. No, he was asleep. So this lady gets out of her car, like runs up. I mean, she's concerned. She's not angry.
Naturally.
And she's like beating on his window. And I was like, oh, fuck. And he starts to startle. And at that point, I was like, oh, God, I hope this guy doesn't like attack the lady. So I started to put my car into park because I don't want her to get like jumped by some asshole who's drunk and fell asleep at the stoplight. Luckily, he rolled down his window. He started, like, why? She's like, you fell asleep. It's green light. Like, all right. And he just like, he fucking hit it and took off. I was like, oh my God, it's like one of those stories we read about on the show. I've never actually seen it happen in real life.
That is crazy. It almost makes you wish it would have went to something that would have made a story.
Like he gets out and I had to like give him the fucking Stone Cold Stunner or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Drink a couple beers, pour them on him.
Hell yeah.
Please do that next time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wrestling.
Oh, wrestling.
No. Wrestling.
Yeah, thank you. Wrestling.
You're from the South. I'm sorry.
Wait, Indiana's the South?
Yeah,
now?
it's the South.
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask and where you're from, yeah, 100%.
I hear rumors that Stone Cold's coming back for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it.
No?
Because
Too old?
I want the new blood, you know? Like
WWE doesn't, now we're getting off on a tangent here, but doesn't know how to develop
No, we should do this tangent.
No. Well, they don't know how to write it in. And then Vince McMahon, you know, always has this say, and he just loves the old guys and the big guys, and it's really annoying.
Zach, are you a wrestling fan?
So,
or used to be, or
yeah. So I grew up on wrestling. Wrestling, yeah. So I actually got to meet the Nasty Boys in Plant City, Florida.
Oh yeah,
hang out with them for a little. Yeah, fantastic. Actually, absolutely fantastic guys. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer, the Broken Skull IPA.
Right.
It's actually pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's looking for a West Coast IPA.
Yeah. For a West Coast IPA, it's actually decent. It's a decent beer.
I mean, it's kind of old school. It kind of reminds me of like back in the day, like the Stone Wars, where it was a fight to see who could pack more IBUs. I mean, it's bitter, it's dank, it is very piney. But if you're looking for that old school West Coast, like Broken Skull IPA is pretty good.
Dude, hell yeah.
It's a decent beer. But yeah, I grew up on wrestling for sure. Yeah, I love it.
Flex and I will often
just go
divulge into some wrestling chat.
Something stupid.
Yeah, it's always stupid.
I feel like this is going to be a huge segue into when we get to the point of being in California. This is going to be the best podcast maybe ever.
Yeah,
probably.
We should start a separate one just for old school wrestling. Yeah.
We should. We should.
I think
we should
probably say brother about 1,000 times, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I
think
the rule,
like a case of Slim Jims and say brother.
Yeah. I think the rule should be like we have to drink double-digit beers before we record those shows.
Well, yeah, that's like an unwritten rule already.
Yeah, that way more brothers come out and it'll be great. Super great. I'll leave us on this story. A Democratic congressional candidate is apologizing after getting drunk and shouting at schoolgirls. An Oklahoma Democratic congressional candidate, that's a mouthful, has apologized for getting drunk and shouting at schoolgirls, calling one acne fucker and another Hispanic fucker.
Those aren't even good insults.
Valentine sleepover.
Those are terrible insults.
They're so bad.
They're so bad.
They're not creative at all. This is all during a teenage girl's Valentine's sleepover party. Before this person threw up in a hamper and a girl's shoe.
Wow. Winner.
Abby Broyles was invited over to a friend's house to share a drink while the friend's daughter enjoyed a slumber party with 7 other middle school girls. She allegedly became drunk over the course of the evening and threw up in a laundry basket and a girl's shoe and launched a profanity-laced tirade at several of the children. Originally, Boyles fiercely denied she was even at the party before admitting she had been there and was, quote, deeply sorry for her actions. Boyles said that she had wine and sushi with her friend, who then gave her a sleeping pill to help her deal with anxiety. However, she claims she had a bad reaction to the drug, which made her hallucinate, black out, and unable to remember what happened that night. Multiple reports of the incident published by NonDoc, whatever that is, it alleged that Broyles hurled multiple insults at the preteens, including acne fucker, Hispanic fucker, and judgy fucker, bringing them all to tears. Broyles' friends, whose daughter was having a party, confirmed she had created an incident of the kind of magnitude that I needed to make phone calls to every parent the next day to discuss one-on-one. She said her behavior was a result of having a bad reaction to sleeping pills that her friend gave her. She enjoyed an evening of wine and sushi. Instead of helping me sleep, I hallucinated. I don't remember anything until I woke up or came to, and I was throwing up in a hamper. She said, I want to say I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. I apologize for any hurt or damage or trauma that my behavior, when I didn't know what I was doing, caused. I'm deeply sorry. She added that she didn't believe she had a problem with alcohol.
I tell you what, it sounds like she has a great PR rep, because that all sounds like complete bullshit.
Right.
Agreed.
Also, of course she had a bad reaction to drinking and a sleeping pill. Why else would you take a sleeping pill when you're drinking unless you want it to have a bad reaction? Everybody knows what happens.
It was the sushi. It was the sushi that did it.
Right. Mercury poisoning.
Now you're the judgy fucker.
I love that. Everyone just like insert thing here.
Fucker.
Judgy fucker. Acne fucker.
Hey, you with the hair, fucker.
Hey, blonde fucker. Yeah, I have a feeling she won't be getting tons of votes.
No election for her.
Yeah, what a shame that'll turn out to be. So
she'll always have her hamper.
You're not wrong, that judgy fucker. All right, well that's all I have. I'm gonna hit some music over here. Zach, thanks for hanging out with us again.
Thank you guys as always.
Absolutely. Go follow him on the gram, OGBeerDude _ in between, and look out for Adjunct Motherfucker. Hitting some bottle shops near you.
It's gonna happen.
Yes.
I hope so. Please put me on the VIP list when that release party happens.
You're the first two.
Follow Flex at FlexMeBeer _ in between. We are at Craft Beer Republic, craftbeerrepublic.com, and 805-538-BEER, 2337, number to call. Of course, mail at craftbeerrepublic.com. Don't forget, live show March 10th. I do believe that is everything. I hope everyone is staying very well hydrated.
And on that note,
good night, everybody.